Hello people, this is Sonali, the Melodramatic Bookworm. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to the Melodramatic Bookworm family. I'm here today with a reading vlog. Yes, I have been doing reading vlogs a lot lately, but it's probably because of the fact that I really enjoy making reading vlogs. They're a pain in the ass to edit, but I do love making reading vlogs, so that's why you're seeing so many of them. But today's reading vlog is for Nonfiction November, but it is also for another sort of small concept that I came up with, and I thought that I would combine the two concepts, Nonfiction November and this next whatever I'm going to talk about, which is why you will see that this is not how I usually start my vlogs. I usually have the whole setup. Since I am reading 5 books for Nonfiction November, or at least I put them on my TBR pool, I somehow know that I won't be able to get through all of them. I thought combining a reading vlog for Nonfiction November with a vlog for No Makeup November. Across this video you will see me wearing no makeup at all. Right now this is my face, like sans any makeup. I don't have eyeliner, kajal, not even lip balm. So throughout this vlog, this is how it's going to be. I thought this would be a good idea, and it feels really freeing to me because I feel like we put so much pressure on ourselves, especially those of us who have to be in front of the camera, that whenever a zit pops up or a pimple comes out, we are like, oh shit, abhi kya hoga? I mean, that tension is still there because that means the skin is not healthy, because it's not breathing properly under all those layers of makeup, which is why I don't like putting makeup on my face. I do that only for videos or if there's any occasion, and those occasions I usually put very light makeup on. What I thought was, let's make it Nonfiction November and No Makeup November also. So I thought bringing these two together will be a good idea. It's a relief to not have to run to apply full makeup on just to film a video. I mean, not that I mind it, but it's a bit of a it's a little freeing to actually be able to sit back like this and just talk. So that was the logic behind this whole reading vlog. I will be reading 5 books. The first one is this, Make Time, How to Focus on What Matters Every Day by Jake Knapp and John Zeratsky. And as you know, I have been putting this on 10 trillion of my TBRs so far, and I thought what better a book to start off this particular vlog with than this one. I will introduce you to the other books as and when we go, but right now I will be starting this. If I haven't mentioned before, today is the 18th of November. It's just past midnight and it just has become 18th of November. So yeah, let's get on with this concept of combining a Nonfiction November and a No Makeup November sort of reading vlog. Do you ever wonder, what did I really do today? Do you ever daydream about projects and activities you'll get to someday, but someday never comes? That's my life every day. Thank you. We want to start by talking about why life is so busy and chaotic these days, and why, if you feel constantly stressed and distracted, it's probably not your fault. Thank you. I really need that. I'm about 16 pages in, and I've just gone past the introduction of the book as well as of the authors and how they started off with coming up with tactics for this. And they implemented design sprints in which they learned 4 lessons, and how they brought those together into this book. And does this always happen that for a book like this, you immediately want to make changes, but 2 days later, 3 days later, you think that I was way too enthusiastic at that time, and I don't know, it somehow feels a little disconnected from who we are in that moment. But this time I'm like, I'm going to read it from a detached perspective, and then see which points I can implement, and then decide what to do in the long run as well. Busy bandwagons and what is that, infinity pools. Busy bandwagons are the is the sort of thought process where it means that you have to be productive and you have to be efficient all through your waking moments. And infinity pools is where things keep attracting your attention, because there's an ever growing cesspool of information or data. For example, any platform that refreshes and gives you new information, that's an infinity pool, because every second new information is coming out. So yeah, I'm just going to dive back in. I don't know why I came to talk about this. Maybe because I thought I'll forget about it in a bit. Hi, I just finished the introduction part, and I'm now just starting on the first part of the step process that these people have to offer. The first one is highlight. As soon as you get up, highlight a particular goal that you want to achieve throughout the day, and then laser. From highlight, we move on to laser, where we talk about focus, on how you want to focus on the goal that you want to achieve, and to focus on your work and not get distracted by these things. I think that's it. And then it goes to reflect. At the end of the day, you have to think about what is working for you and what's not working for you, so that you can start afresh or make subtle changes to your next day, and then experiment, and then try to come up with something that will work for the entire time. And then there's also a mid part which you have to do at the second step, which is energize, because you need energy to do all of that. So from reflection, we go back to the next day, which is highlight. Obviously, I'm really interested to see where this is going. I don't know if I will read more today, but next time when I do, I'm sure going to listen to the audiobook while I'm listening to wait, that's not right. I'm sure going to listen to the audiobook while I'm reading the physical copy. Jeez. Hey folks, today is what date it is, 20th of November, and I have been making some progress on Make Time by Jake Knapp and John Zeratsky. I'm on page 110 right now, and there are some thoughts which I have written down. I feel like what these people are saying is a little difficult to do, especially because my work depends on social media. So by telling me to delete all my social media or to stay away from everything that is social media, it sort of does not get the point across to me, because my livelihood is over here. Sure, I might not depend on social media to pay my bills, but it's a huge part of my life and a huge part of who I am as well. So yeah, that's what I've gotten to at the moment. There are a lot of little tidbits throughout which do make sense, but overall I feel like the narrative is just a little too confused. Like they're telling something, but then suddenly it veers off into another point or something, or there's not complete clarity, it felt like to me. But I know that whatever they're saying, I know already. I've been implementing some of them. The best way to defeat distraction is to make it harder to react. By adding a few steps that get in the way of checking Facebook, catching up on the news, or turning on the TV, you can short circuit the cycle that makes these products so sticky. After just a few days, you'll have a new set of defaults. You'll go from distracted to focused, from reactive to intentional, and from overwhelmed to in control. It's all about creating a little inconvenience. When distraction is hard to access, you don't have to worry about willpower. You can channel your energy into making time instead of wasting it. And there's another thing that they talk about, notifications, and the way they see notifications is Rather, it makes a lot of sense, and that's why I've turned off my WhatsApp notifications. Maybe I should do that to all social media so that it doesn't, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But what they say is, by turning off your notifications, you'll teach your phone some manners. You'll transform it from a non-stop blabbering loudmouth into a polite bearer of important news, the kind of friend you'd actually want in your life, which makes a lot of sense, and I feel like I'm going to do that. I'm going to implement it, and yeah. Hi, it's just close to 10:55 and I'm now on page 155. That means I've read about 45 pages in the past 45-ish minutes, and that's an achievement. The reason why it is fast paced is because it is broken down into a lot of small stuff, and it's the language used is pretty easy, nothing very flowery and nothing too deep. It's something we all know. These are things we all know. I am not completely in line with everything that these people are saying, these authors are saying, but I feel like it's not a bad place to start your, like, improvement tactics in your work life or personal life either. What I will be doing is I'm going to take whatever fits or whatever works for me and then continue whatever is working for me, and maybe bring that all together. It will take time. These things don't happen in the blink of an eye. Hi people, today is technically the 22nd of November, and it might feel like I have not left this place, but trust me, I have. And I just like this place a lot, and I like reading. I love late night reading. So I'm going to read a little bit more of Make Time. I haven't been able to read any further. I'm still on page 155 and I'm hoping to finish it tonight because I just have another 100 pages. So I'm just going to sit down and read. I have my lamp, no? I set up the whole thing and then... Why am I like this? Thank you very much. This is like such a savior. Honestly, lifesaver this is. I need to write this down. Hold on. There's a point which asks you to be bored. Okay. Apparently, when you're deprived of distraction, you may feel bored, but boredom is actually a good thing. It gives your mind a chance to wander, and wandering often leads you to interesting places. In separate studies, researchers at Penn State and the University of Central Lancashire found that bored test subjects were better at creative problem solving than were their non-bored peers. Okay. And there's a footnote over here which says, in case you're wondering how the researchers bored their test subjects, we were. Penn State used boring videos, and the University of Central Lancashire made people copy numbers out of a phone book. Researchers are jerks. This is a personal attack. If you want energy for your brain, you need to take care of your body. Hey people, it's just past 2, it's 2:05, and I've in the AM, and as against the advice that's mentioned in here, in which it says that it asks us to uh, maintain our body clock according to how the sun moves and according to the day and night circle. And I'm here reading it late into the night, but yes, I must say that this is a good book. I wouldn't say it's phenomenal or it's great, but it's good. It tells us some very important things. And again, like Atomic Habits, I sort of thought that everything in this book I already knew. It was reminding me, and it was telling me to actually go ahead and implement those things. So for that, I think I'll be grateful. Another thing that I really liked about this book is that it is funny in a lot of places. It is no a pretension of any sort on the author's behalf. They agree that sometimes these things don't work for them also, which it's a good thing to see, but it's just that they are trying to tell us, they are trying to give us tips and tricks that we can pick and choose from, that will probably fit into our lives better and make it easier for us to make time for what matters to us every day. So I think that's the whole gist of this book, and I know that this is an important book, if not a great one, but this is going to be a book that I will go back to. You need to reflect every single day about what works for you and what does not, and you have to think about what works, what does not work, how, which one to take out of your schedule, which one to include in your schedule. It's just basically a lot of experimentation until you come upon a schedule that works particularly for you and for your levels of energy, and knowing, being self-aware about what you need to change. I would recommend it if you are planning to, if you need any sort of self-help to make your schedule better, to make your days better, and if you're looking for ways or tips and tricks. There are about 90 tips and tricks in this, but it would be better if you followed it and then pick and chose from that lot. But don't expect the world to come and fall on at your feet once you read this book. That's a very important thing that I do want to point out, okay? So yeah, I'm giving this 4.25. I wanted to give it 4 stars, but I felt like the humor that's in here, I really like the author's way of putting everything forward. They are not pretentious. They are very down to earth, and they are very friendly in the way they speak about a lot of things. So yeah, 4.25 stars it is. This is my first book for Nonfiction November. It's 22nd November, and this is my first book for Nonfiction November. Great. Hello people, today is the 25th of November, and I haven't been able to vlog much for this particular vlog because I have been neck deep and even brain deep in work. I've been rushing left, right and center, ignoring a lot of my other works and doing this. Oh shit, and I just remembered I had to do something else, but I will vlog for a bit, I will read for a bit because I feel like I deserve it, and I will read and then I will come back to what was I going to say? I completely zoned out for a second over there. Yeah, and then I will go back to working. And yeah, so I finished, what did I finish? I finished Make Time for this vlog for Nonfiction November meets No Makeup November. As you can see, I don't have any makeup on, and this is like me at my barest. I really want to put on a face mask, but I don't have the energy right now. So I'm just going to sit there and I'll read. This time the book that I've picked up is Invictus, The Jungle That Made Me by Nidhi Sharma. This has about 213-14 pages. So I feel like I will be able to finish this today. If I finish this today, then it's like time for celebration, that sort of thing. And now I will sit down and read a bit of this. I have about 1.5 hours before I need to go have dinner, but I'll try to finish as much as possible. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna go sit down and read. I'm about 43 pages in, 42 pages in, and it's the language is good, but it feels a little pretentious to me. I know this is a memoir of sorts, but I somehow feel that the writing in itself is a little pretentious and repetitive to the point where it gets annoying, because at the end of every chapter, the author is like, the jungle was waiting to tame me. It smiled viciously. It was waiting to tame me. It smiled viciously. And it sort of gets very frustrating, because I'm like, I know, I understand that you went through all of this, but you don't have to repeat it so many times. I get it. Can you please get on with it? I usually never say that about memoirs, because it's someone's life that we're talking about, but I'm going to keep my calm. Okay? Get on with this. Again, you know what? I don't mind how this book is written, but what is grinding my gears is how Shakespeare-y the author has tried to make this account. I mean, it's her memoir. She can do whatever she wants with it, but it was into twas, and it is into tis. It's not needed. Oh shit. Uh, I'm a, I'm 92 pages into this book, and things just got like very scary. Like, the author, along with her friends, have gone on this sort of picnic, not wanting to give this chance up, and they've gone on this picnic, and now they are stuck in Tawang, in the forests of Tawang, in the middle of a raging river, and they were just about to be swept away, and the adrenaline, oh my god, that I was just so scared to read this further, because I know that they survived. That's how you have this book. But just imagining the someone being in that situation, and imagining that sort of fear, it just, oh, to imagine myself in that situation, or to imagine anybody in that situation, it sort of guts me. The very imagination guts me, and I'm here like, what if? Why are there so many references, like pop culture references, as if you are trying to be cool? And that's what it comes across as. Like, it's as if the author is trying to make the narrative into something cool. If, on the other hand, if she had just written what had happened without doing all of this drama, it would have been so much better. Perhaps a full 5 out of 5 stars, perhaps. But to use proverbs and unnecessarily flowery things, and then trying to use references like jungle was turning out to be quite a Shylock, or the jungle was in tandem, it was working with Zeus and Loki. Okay, I know it's cool. Pop culture is cool, but you don't have to use them so much. Don't overuse them. It's a windmill. Could it feel the rot and decay on itself? Did the abandonment make it melancholic? Did it miss the cacophony of humans milling whatever they milled here? Okay, hi. The lighting is a bit meh, but I'm just going to keep going because I'm a little too lazy. It's just past 2:30 in the AM and I just finished reading this book, and I must say that it was a grueling thing that the author and her sister and her friends and her army children friends, that they went through the whole thing of being lost in the jungle and keeping their strength, their courage, their hope together to make it out of that jungle and back home. I feel like this could have been so much better written. Feels like, if not for the fact that the author just thinks that adding references on every other page and making it too flowery and asking a ton of questions makes it into a very thought provoking read. It doesn't. It's just it got a little annoying for me. It's the writing that I have a problem with. It's not obviously the memoir part of this book that I have an issue with. And I'm like, is there one page on which there's no reference, and which I just get to read your story as it is without all of these embellishments? But on the other hand, it was quite a grueling story, and it kept me hooked, because you've seen that I finished this in one day, in just a few hours, in fact. And I'm just in awe that a teenager leading a bunch of kids, all of them got out, not, I wouldn't say unscathed, because they had wounds and bruises and cuts and gashes and flesh hanging out and whatnot. But to be able to survive that thick jungle of Arunachal Pradesh, it sort of, I'm still in awe. I don't know what to say. It's just hats off to them for keeping their calm. Okay, they lost it at times, but just hats off for keeping their calm. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Invictus, The Jungle That Made Me by Nidhi Sharma. And she also has a lot of tips and tricks on how to handle mountains and jungles, and what to wear, how to get leeches off your body. Oh my god, the very thought is sort of creeping me out. But I feel like if you are someone who likes to go on hikes, who likes to do mountain climbing or stuff like this, if ever you were to find yourself in that particular situation, then I feel like these tips that she has mentioned at the end of the book, I'm giving it 3 stars out of 5. I actually contemplated giving it 2.5 because of how annoyed I got throughout. But then again, this is a memoir, and just for, especially for that, for their grit and determination and survival instincts, I'm just, and I think this is my 18th book of the month. I never thought I'd be saying this, but 18 books is a lot. Hi, and welcome to the Nonfiction November and No Makeup November vlog. I wasn't able to read many, I read only two of the physical copies, but I also got around to listening to a lot of nonfiction books which I haven't been able to talk about here. I have done a separate video for that, although I will leave the link to that here as well as in the description box below. Go check that out. Some of those audiobooks are amazing, and I really had fun listening to them as well as in educating myself. Other than that, the nonfiction books that I added to my November TBR, I managed to finish 2 of them, and I'll be reading the third. Today is the 30th of November, and I feel like I'm stretched it too much. But I'm reading, hold on, this one, Queeristan. I don't know, this book is not here. This one, Queeristan by Parmesh Shahani, and I'm about 50 pages into this book. I mean, I'm liking how this book is going, but it feels really info dumpy. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot of information in one single page, and I'm like, to make my job easier, I've also gotten the audiobook for this, and I will be listening to it as I read this. I'm hoping to finish this book tonight, so let's see how it goes. Oh, I forgot to mention. Wait. Oh, okay. So this was written in early 2020 before the whole thing with J.K. Rowling blew up. So there's a lot of Harry Potter references in here. One especially about the Harry Potter Alliance that that works across the world. I think there are lakhs of people who are using that platform in order to in for queer rights, and the absolute irony, you could call it, the cruel irony, you could call it. And this author is talking about trans rights and J.K. Rowling in the same breath, and I was like, oh, I cringed so hard. First, I cringed hard, but then I realized that this was before all of that blew up, and she outed herself as a huge transphobe and a turf, and I feel like that needs to be taken into consideration as well. So there's something that the author says here is that is so true. In most countries, one negotiates their identity at home and not at work. In our country, where the home itself is a space of identity erasure, the negotiation starts at the workplace. That's sad as hell, but true. Being queer is not all about despair. There's also so much joy in our identities as queer persons. It's about holding these contradictions together in the mind, celebrating the flux, mourning the violence, pushing for change, and being hopeful for a better tomorrow. I thought of 1861 when Victorian morality informed Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code. Victorian patriarchal morality, more like, yeah. The British criminalized what they could not understand, as usual. I mean, we know they have a long history with that, and colonized our minds. Though the law itself did not persecute too many people, it served as what Foucault called the panopticon. The state oversees everything, including our private desires. Homophobia seeped into our consciousness, and we began erasing ourselves and our desires. That is so sad. If they have been here for millennia, and if for these millennia people have been persecuting them and discriminating against them and punishing them for who they are, which is a natural thing, who is in the wrong here? Them for existing, or you for being the discriminatory person that you are, discriminatory queerphobic person that you are? You as in the people who discriminate, huh? Not all people. The chapter that I'm currently reading is called The Queer Alphabet Soup and Why It Matters. It explains all the queer terms and what it is, what it means to be closeted, what it means to be coming out, homophobia, homosexual, heterosexual, and a lot of other terms. And I feel like this is so important, and I know that I will be going back to this again and again, because there are some things that we need to keep learning over and over again in order to understand them better. And now it comes to the point, it's almost at the end of the chapter, and the author is talking about coming out of the closet, and he ends this one particular section with this paragraph. Coming out of the closet is not simple, and it does not happen just once. One first comes out to oneself, then to one's confidant, siblings, friends, parents, co-workers, again and again. Office banter always comes down to who is dating whom, which is true. Dinner discussions with parents linger around marriage and kids and all of this stuff. They are obsessed. Conversations with friends, the closest ones especially, always have the element of dating, sex, and relationships. Again, true. How does one handle all of this if they are closeted? It is very difficult. I hope this book, in some small measure, inspires more queer people in our country to accept themselves and come out if they feel that they can. Yes, I think that is very important, if they feel that they can, because not everyone's circumstances are the same. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure being in this country for a queer person. Okay, so I'm about 123 pages in. I'm on page 124 now. Where is this? Yeah. I'm on page 124 of Queeristan, and it's just close to 11 in the night, and I know that I won't be finishing this tonight, especially because there's so much information that the author is giving me in this. I know that it will take some time for me to process it, as well as that I will need to come back to read this over and over again so that I remember this stuff. These are all statistics, and there are some stories. People think they are being or moralistic and realistic, and just they say that it isn't natural and all of that. Who told you that? That's today's update. I will be putting a pause on this now, and I will continue through it, but a little bit slowly. Hey folks, welcome back to the reading vlog that should have been done in November, but which I have brought over to December because I haven't been able to finish the last book that I started in that month. The book that we are talking about is Queeristan by Parmesh Shahani, and I have been reading since the last time I updated you. I got through 50 pages of this book, and there's a lot of information over here, including about how LGBTQ plus inclusion can be profitable to any company for that matter. Yes, I know that argument. When I say it here, it seems a little it seems crass, and it's not the right argument to make perhaps, but Parmesh Shahani's justification for putting this in here is that people are not listening. So to make them listen, I have to put forth every argument there is, which makes sense. So yeah, I have been reading a lot about how different companies have been on this whole inclusion uh, what is a journey on this path, and how they have been making changes across the years, as well as about those companies who have people who have been detrimental to this whole process or to this whole cause, as in general. And I must say that this is very sharp, to the point. So I'm taking my time, I'm reading it pretty slowly. It's only today that I've gotten to page 183, which is part 4 of the book, in which he talks about in which he gives us a guide to making your workplace LGBTQ inclusive. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I will be reading and vlogging for a bit. I have like 1.5 hour of time, so maybe I'll get through another 40-50 pages. Is it fitting that I have this bookmark for this book? Hi, it's 3:40, and I thought I wouldn't go back to listen to the audiobook while reading the physical copy, but I did. Thank you. I just got done with the step 2 of this whole thing that Parmeshwari has listed out, and there is one point towards the end of the chapter, in which Zena Patel she talks about sorry in which Zena Patel she talks about what the problem with corporations hiring trans people are, like LGBTQ people are. With corporations, the problem is that they say that they don't mind hiring trans people and LGBTQ folks if they match a particular competency. What is there for them to mind? It is not like trans people are alien. They're just a set of marginalized people who need to come to the mainstream. You make changes in policy to accommodate people from socio-economically marginalized communities, even if they are not as technically competent, because you want to see certain kinds of people in certain positions. And this is true on so many levels, because this is just corporations trying to show off that they are inclusive when not doing anything to be inclusive. So I'm now on page 219, and I'm going to pause for a bit. It's about realizing how much change is still needed in here, but also how far we've come in on this particular journey of including our LGBTQ plus fellows. It's eye opening for sure, and the remaining of the book, I'll probably finish it tonight or tomorrow. But whatever happens, I know that this is going to be at least a 4-star read for me because of how informative it is. At this point, I'm just wishing that I had highlighted things in the book, but I didn't know how it was going to go, so I didn't. Okay, it's just about 2:15 in the AM, and I just finished reading this book, and it's a good one. It's not an exhaustive list of resources or everything, because it can't be an exhaustive list in such situations, but it is a good one. I know that I'm going to go back and listen or read this once again, because there's a lot of information in here related to how we can make Indian workplaces better for queer people. He puts down guidelines on how companies, corporate companies, or any workplace for that matter, can become LGBTQ plus inclusive, and through stories and through incidents that have happened. Parmeshani brings forth everything, puts it forward for us, and gives us great examples, and he just shows us why it is good to be LGBTQ plus inclusive. It's just the basic human thing to do, to be inclusive. But he also talks about intersectionality in a lot of ways, with caste, gender, religion, and all of that. And it's a good one. And I know I'm going to go back and read this. But the good thing about this book is that when you take the high level language that the author has used and the high level guidelines that he has used, you can always simplify them and apply them to your own life. It doesn't have to apply just to workplaces and for employers, for people who are in high positions of power, but you can also apply it in your own life and become an ally. I love how simple he has made. Yeah, this was a good rounding off of this whole vlog, which was the non-fiction November reading vlog, also the no makeup November reading vlog, which then transformed into non-fiction December and no makeup December. I'm glad that I did this, and that I read this book and the two others that I read earlier in the vlog. And yeah, I'm going to just say goodbye, and please read Make Time and this one. And if you're looking for a quick read, then Invictus is the way to go. Maybe I'll do this next year also. I don't know. I don't know what next year holds. I don't know what tomorrow holds. So how can I talk about next year? Anyway, let's just leave it at that. I'll just say thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and add melodrama to your life.